Welcome back to the Modern Morenxs podcast.
Woo! It's been a minute. Hello.
Hi,
everyone. Hi.
That's flat. Cut that
out. Wow, it's been a minute. So, recap. What have we been up to? When was the last time we recorded?
Yeah, that's a good
December?
question.
No.
August?
No.
July?
June.
Oh my god, this was gonna be
What
a whole
a
year.
shame.
So sorry to keep you waiting.
No, I'm not apologizing. We're not apologizing. We take it back. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for your patience. We have just been vibing.
Just living life. Figuring yourselves out.
What's that Kourtney Kardashian tweet? Or quote?
Oh yeah.
Like, my vibe right now is just living
life.
life.
Yeah.
But yeah, what have we been doing?
I've been just working. Honestly, it's just so boring. But I feel like I've recently have been living it up. I've been going to concerts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fun. Seeing my friends. Obviously, we're in person. So things are looking up, and I've been feeling a lot better. I think that's the seasonal depression leaving. Saying bye. And hello to summer or spring or whatever. It's global warming. Yeah, that's me.
Nice. The sun is back out, it sounds.
Yeah.
What about y'all? Aside from chasing that bag.
I know.
I don't know. I think for the first time, I'm like focusing a little bit more on myself. Like,
Ooh.
Say it louder. Say it. We can hear you. Yell it into the
focusing
mic.
on myself.
Yeah.
So it feels good just to take that time.
The audio.
I know. We were so hype about that, Jamie.
We were very hyped.
But yeah, it feels good to actually have time and like prioritize what I want to prioritize aside from work. So that's good.
Yes.
I've also been working.
What's new?
What's new? New space, new place from last year in every possible way. Let's see. I've been eating out, but also I've been opening myself to talk to people more and just hang out with people more in general, because I've learned in this past year, life is too short. If you love someone, then hang out with them, talk to them, and don't be scared.
If you want to say hi to someone, say hi. I literally, every place I'll go to with Dree, I will look behind to see how she's doing. And she's talking to somebody. She's making friends wherever she goes. And I'm like, wow.
I know.
I admire that so much.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yeah.
That's hard to follow. Yeah, we're still getting that bag. And outside of the 9 to 5, I am just living life for like the 10th time.
Really.
Nothing. I'm just minding my business. That's it. And just
It's been
minding
so
my business.
peaceful.
It's been very peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on not apologizing, holding yourself accountable, and it's nice. It's nice. And letting yourself enjoy. I'm letting myself enjoy.
That's a good one.
Being present.
Yeah. But
That's
yeah,
very important.
that's our recap. As a pod, what have we been up to? Like outside of like our personal lives and being friends. What have we been up to as a pod?
This is our first time. Is that what we're talking about? This is our first time getting together. We have, I don't know, it's been so hard because, I mean, like we've all said, we're all just getting our bag, leveling up individually. But it's been so hard because I feel like this is #adulting when you just can't schedule, like, you have to schedule in, like, far advance. Yeah, #adulting. Because it's so hard to get us all four together, but I'm so grateful for the times that we are together, including our other friends, You know who you are.
Wink.
Yeah. #me. I'm so sorry. I know.
But yeah, so far so good. Can't complain. We've been eating good, sleeping good. Just, our skin is glowing for a reason. We take care of ourselves here.
Yeah, self-care, always.
And speaking of self-care, with self-care comes challenging yourself. So for this season, how do we want to challenge ourselves? And this can be like just for you as a podcast host or for our group as a whole.
Ooh, in terms of our podcast. Thinking.
Think more. Think
Actually,
more
okay,
before responding.
maybe not just podcast. That's too narrow, I think.
We can dial in.
How do you want to challenge yourself?
Yeah. I think, so going into 2022, something that I wanted to do differently was instead of doing like resolutions, I wanted to like form healthy habits each month. So I would just build on top of that, and then by the end of the year, I'll have 12. So the first one was just mindfulness and like talking to myself in a good way. And I think that that's like made all the difference and boosted like my own self-confidence and how I, view people, interact with them, and all that type of stuff. And then I think that blended with February because February was short. And honestly, I was like, whoa, what happened with that? Where did that go? I don't know. And then March, I wanted to do it more towards like physical health. So I hit up Dree to do some personal training. So she's going to be helping me achieve my goals. I've trained with her before actually, and she's amazing. If you are looking for a trainer, I would totally recommend Dree. A woman of all trades, truly. I think that this woman should have her own app. That's how amazing I think that she is.
That.
Yeah. But yeah, so physical
idea.
health is definitely for this month. And for the rest of the months, I don't know yet. I'll just listen to my body and to my mind and to my soul.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
I love
Wow.
that for you.
Thank you.
And we're recording this on March 4th, so you're just getting started.
I am just getting started. And my birthday is coming up in June, and hopefully we can go to the Vegas trip I was talking about like 3 years ago. I'm not yet. Never happened.
3 panty.
Yeah, 3 panty. So we'll see if we can do that.
Fun.
Very fun.
Wow.
Very fun.
I like how you're also making each month have a specific goal rather than just like one long, very intimidating goal.
Exactly.
It's more achievable.
Yeah, I was very much inspired by that book, Atomic Habits. And, I didn't even read it all the way because my subscription ended. But I will say that what I got was so valuable. And if you have a chance to read it, let me know how you like it.
Wait,
let me know the
I
ending.
didn't finish it because my subscription ended.
It's okay. I have the book.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Dree has the book.
Wow, a library too.
I know, seriously. Who needs a Libby when you got a Dree?
You don't need to wait in line
I
or queue
know, I
anymore.
don't need to wait.
You have a Dree.
Fast pass. Like, laying that.
Oh, let's not get started.
I know, I'm so sorry. Not sponsored. Anyways. Anyone else?
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Yeah.
Are we doing it like for ourselves or for the pod?
I did ours.
Well, she said for
Just do it
herself.
for yourself.
Okay, so
The pod is too niche.
Yeah. No, we can do that
Let's
maybe
not
after.
restrain ourselves,
Yeah, whatever flows. Yeah, whatever flows.
I would like to challenge myself to commit to delayed gratification because for so long I've been chasing instant gratification and it doesn't produce the results I want. And so a lot of that has to do with setting boundaries and staying true to what I really truly want. And the quote that's stuck in my head is all over Instagram, but it's like, you can't get mad at the results you didn't get from the work you didn't do. So it's like, I just really hope that, actually, rewind. This year, I will focus on myself a lot more. I have been setting boundaries. Like I put do not disturb on my phone at like 8 p.m. Don't try to talk to me or text me.
Don't hit
nothing
her up.
after 8 p.m. besides this. But, but other than that, no, I am on my own routine. I'm on my own schedule, and it's really nice to just live for myself, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. I love how you're finally like prioritizing yourself. It sounds. Yeah.
Making your own wavelength.
Yeah, and it starts with by like setting your own boundaries, and the do not disturb thing at a certain time. That's really, really genius. So
It's helpful.
we all need to follow.
Yeah, and also I love how the new Apple update will be like so and so has their notification.
Oh yeah,
silence.
so you know.
So it's I won't reply to you.
I need to update it then. I have no idea.
Yeah, you should.
I know.
You should. It's the best.
Sometimes I'll be like, notify anyway.
Oh yeah, me too.
It'll
And then
ask
goes
you,
big.
do you want to do it anyway? And I'm like, damn. And it's like,
Not
are you
respecting
awake?
boundaries.
Wow. That's so good though. That's so good though. I'm excited to see how like setting boundaries can really help you level up too. Woo, me too. It starts with you. It starts with you.
I think for me, my biggest challenge, even though like so I said that I'm like getting comfortable of my own self or like focusing on myself.
Yes.
So my biggest challenge is not being comfortable. I think it's very hard sometimes to know where that line ends or where you need to take just a leap of faith. So I just feel like, especially now with just how things are and just like picking up again, I think there are a lot of things to just think about of like what you were just like, okay, I'm just going to stay here for now, and just being able to pick up the pace and everything. So my biggest challenge is to just face the uncomfortable and just seeing different things for my own personal self and own personal goals. So yeah, I just want to try different things and not be so stuck on what I was just happily living for the past 2 years. Wow, crazy 2 years. So
Almost 3.
Almost
nearly
3 years. So yeah, it'll be really fun to just see what I can challenge myself with by just being
I love that.
not
So
comfortable.
exciting! Yay!
It's
so
probably
good.
so hard because we've been
So
living
hard.
such like sedentary lives in different aspects for 3
True.
years.
Yeah, we've been deep into
Yeah,
the comfort
literally.
zone. Yeah.
And maybe
yeah.
even like, you know, I feel for myself, like reflecting on these past 3 years, I'm like, I'm definitely not the same person as I was before, you know, and that's all for like in the best ways too. Whether at first at times I'm like, that's not a good habit of mine that I'm forming or whatever, I'm ready to like recognize it for what it is and just like really move past it. And I feel like with everything opening up, you know, we're just ready to level up that way.
Exactly. And like Jamie said, like finding that line of where is the end of my comfort zone, that's so important too.
Yeah.
Like you can't just play a guessing game. Like you actually have to like be self-aware and think about how you want to push yourself. So that's, I love that for you.
Yeah.
Thank
Wow.
you.
We all have such nice goals. Wait, I'm saying we, but I didn't even some way I want to challenge myself in many different ways. But something that comes to mind right now is I want to challenge myself to just listen to what I want without my head doing all the thinking. Like I feel like I am so like practical and so strategic sometimes that I won't let myself really enjoy the moment. So because of that, this year I am challenging myself to take more priority in how I feel and how an experience makes me feel, rather than wondering like, okay, what is the consequence or what is the benefit of the situation? So I'm really just being in it for me.
Oh my gosh, I can only see how happy like you'll be, especially by the end of the year.
Yeah.
You know, all the fun memories. Wow.
Yeah, and so far it's March 4th again when we're recording this. So far so good. So hopefully it continues, and me just listening to the universe will help me continue to be happy for this year. And if I'm not happy at that moment, like at least I know that there's something else to look forward to. Yeah, it's easier to trust the process when you're like doing it for how you're feeling rather than what you think is the right or wrong thing.
Exactly. And on like the topic of trusting the process, like what do you all think if you feel like you aren't leveling up? You know?
Ooh.
So how would you advise somebody who just feels like, you know, I'm not there yet, I want to, like how can I level up? But also at the same time, I want people to know it's okay to not level up, you know? Like your life isn't like supposed to always be an upward trajectory.
It's like true.
It's not love. It's not your life isn't measured by like the successes. More so like than like the fluctuation of like your failures or like your hardships and like you know all of those type of stuff really ground you. I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's very grounding.
Yeah.
I don't know. What is our advice?
I feel like everything that we go through makes you, and we are made of a bunch of little different things that create a whole, like our wholeness. So I feel like it is hard to be in those spaces where you don't feel like you're leveling up, but it should be noted that every single tiny little action you do, like literally putting do not disturb on my phone, it takes like 1 second. It's a small thing, but it reverberates into so many other things in my life. And so it sounds so corny, but you just trust the process. As long as you have good intentions and you really are honest with yourself about the efforts that you're putting in, then you really have nothing to worry about. And it's so fun. It's so crazy. Like once you stop worrying about things, that's when things will just start coming to you. And it's crazy how
it's
that works.
so surreal, especially when you just open yourself up to the possibilities. Then you're starting to attract what's meant for you. And it's gonna get really cheesy, but to end my statement, you go through what you grow through.
Ooh. Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
that's the one.
We're blossoming. Yeah.
I think it's so interesting because are you guys talking to me?
She's laughing.
Are you guys?
I'm concerned. She's laughing.
No, I just feel like just hearing the question and the answer, I am that person right now where I'm literally like stuck and not, and so I really love hearing that. So if you are listening, I'm probably like you and stuck. Like that's if you've heard this whole episode, literally I'm like trusting myself, comfortable, uncomfortable. So I'm literally in that process of just being more open about that, and it's very hard. Like it's very hard to feel stuck, especially if y'all know season 1, I said, if you're a real listener, you guys know my personality traits. Perfectionist over here, always had a goal and plan. So right now that things are just not where I want it to be. It's very nice to have this as a reminder, and maybe as even my own rewind to see March 4th after what happens or where I'm at. But like everyone said, it's okay if maybe later on or after I'm just like barely starting the process. I think just acknowledging it is always important. I think that's the biggest step to just like realize, because it's scary to actually say it out loud or to even speak about it, because no one wants to feel that way. So once you do, I think that's already a big step even for yourself.
That's true. And I also feel like outside of trusting the process, to trust yourself and your own abilities. But then if you're worried about where you are in life, and if you feel stuck, ask yourself, do I trust myself? And if I don't trust myself, why do I not trust myself? And that takes a lot of work. Ongoing work. It's a lot of work. It's lifelong work. And it's never going to be perfect. And it's not one size fits all. But
and a lot of bravery too. Like I feel like finally acknowledging the fact that you are probably lacking something for yourself and not prioritizing yourself. That's like the hardest thing to accept.
Totally.
Because we like to think that, you know, I love myself. I will do all of this for me. But quite frankly, sometimes we do everything for everyone else, right? So that's the very first step, acknowledging it. And I think it would just be very helpful to sit down, and once you open up to yourself, write down or think about things that make you happy. Like, oh, I like community. I like food. I like feeling like a leader. Whatever it takes, just listing it down. From there, you can start to think about what your next step can be. Like, it just starts with acknowledging it and just leaving yourself the space to think about it even deeper.
I think really good work that I've been pursuing is healing my inner child. So that allows me to feel safe within myself and to trust myself and to trust that I'm doing the right things for myself. So it's so funny because I'll be doing things and I will feel anxious or scared. And in my head, I talk to my younger self like, don't worry, Dre, you're okay. You're loved. You're safe. Everything's good. So, just talking about it.
I know.
It's just like, it makes it
I'm
real.
suddenly really cold.
Yeah. it just makes it real because everything is so internal. You know, it's not something that's always expressed. The internal battles are the hardest.
Yeah. But we're all going through something. Like, no one knows what they're doing. Yes, you might feel lost right now, but you won't always be lost. Like, you will find that next step and you'll be good. Like, the universe has us. Really? That's it. That's it.
And don't rush the timeline. Don't rush the timeline, guys. Don't rush it. Whatever you do.
But yeah, those are such great ways that we want to challenge ourselves.
I think, like, for me, I want to backtrack, insert myself into this conversation.
Don't apologize. It's okay.
I know, I was, like, processing everything, but I think I'm on that other side of feeling stuck. As we all know, I went through a breakup, and I was so stuck on the fact that, you know, I should be doing this, I should be feeling this way, I should be over it, I should be dating someone by now, I should, you know, do this and that. All of these internal deadlines I kept giving myself. And at some point I just started to realize and accept that, like, I am, you know, essentially making myself so unhappy by, like, setting myself up for failure almost. And so, like, if I just accept the way things are right now and feel through whatever I need to feel through, I'll get past it, you know. And I can confidently say that I have done that. And I'm, like, so much more happier. And yeah, so there is hope, you know, in whatever type of internal battle you're going through.
Yeah. I like how you said that you were setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
I think that's another step that is so necessary to actually grow, like acknowledging where you're lacking. And
definitely. Because sometimes you're just like, it's so easy, or how I grew up is like, oh, it's because of this, or it's like because of that person, or because this happened to me that I'm just like this. And when in reality, you know, like, I create my own reality.
Yes, I was about to say.
When in reality, it's just me. It's just me. That's, like, not showing up for myself. And so I need to be there for myself in order to pick myself up and get to the next level, because I want better for me, and I want to, like, live, like, a happy life.
Right. Like, the want needs to be there.
Yeah, exactly. You can't change, like, anything without really wanting to and, like, putting in whatever it needs to. You know, I mean, obviously there is, like, material things that can go into that, you know, whatever. But I think, like, internally, if you, like, really want something, like, it'll manifest into itself.
Right. And it's already yours, too.
Yeah. Oh, my God, that one.
Look at
already
this episode.
Yours.
Yes.
Wow. I'm, like, dancing in the vibes.
I know.
It feels so good. It feels so good in here.
It does.
But, yeah, I totally agree. You cannot change what you cannot see.
Exactly.
And from your story, we've seen you grow a lot of faith in yourself. And I think faith is so important, especially when you're trying to grow, because growing is really fucking hard when you're, like, facing yourself and
exactly.
Yeah.
facing your failures or what you're
Mm-hmm.
lacking, because if you don't believe you're lacking in anything, then how are you gonna grow?
Right,
You're, like, not gonna grow.
Right, it's all about like that ownership piece. Like
Yeah.
it's not happening to you. Like this is all you.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, it's subjective. There are,
Yeah.
there are
There's some things we
situations.
can't. Yeah.
It's situational.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's out of your control.
Yeah.
But it's all about how we react to them and like how
Exactly.
we go from there. Yeah.
And how it affects you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And how you let it affect you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
What do you think the difference is between reacting and responding?
Oh. Coming from somebody that I can be very reactive. And I think that it can be, you know, a good thing or a bad thing. Hence, when I get scared, you will instantly hear me scream, right? Yeah, like I will get more scared. Right? We were literally watching a Shrek short film. Nothing scary, but I was
Nothing
just,
scary.
I don't know. I just saw the baby.
But it was scary to you.
It was scary to me, though. Okay.
It was your
We'll
experience.
validate your experience.
My
Yes.
experience. Okay. But I understand too, like growing up, like the self-control that is necessary, and like this, and that gives me the strength to respond well.
Right.
You know, because I can't be so reactive. I think, and I tie a reaction automatically to like anger. I think that I wasn't always dealing with anger in the most healthiest way, and I would be very, very reactive. And now I know the value in being responsive, especially when it comes to like the people that I love. You know, I don't ever want to come off in a certain way or like regret like how things played out because I was so reactive and like hot tempered and like all that type of stuff. You know, so that's how I view reaction versus responding.
Yeah, reaction is definitely fear-based,
Right.
and responding is taking that extra step, like you said, to take that step back
Yeah.
and to
Acting
consider
on
the
it.
full perspective
Right.
Yeah.
of
Right.
yourself and everyone else involved.
Right.
Oof, that's hard.
It is so hard.
That's
So
hard.
It is.
It's so hard because reacting is very ego based,
Yeah.
whereas responding, like that's your head thinking. Like that's what you decide to do after that reaction.
Yeah. And I'm just so like emotional that I've naturally grown to not really think about like how I'm reacting or how necessarily that can like play out in the long run and affect long term, you know, in my relationships. So I feel like I've grown to balance it a lot better. Of course, I've been tried different times. But yeah.
Same.
But you know, there's some times where it's like appropriate, most times it's not. So
It's just out of balance.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right, right. But it's all about like listening and then choosing after listening to yourself how you want to go from there. It's always rooted in like what we want to do for ourselves, really.
Right.
But it's so interesting to me how you relate reacting to anger.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because I think
my inner child.
For
For sure.
Like I think about reacting in a happy way or being sad, like happiness or sadness. That's what I view
Ooh,
reactions.
that's different.
Yeah.
So different.
Wow.
For me, I believe that every single action, no matter what it is, big or small, is rooted in either fear or in love. There are no other options.
Wow.
So for me, reacting is rooted in
That's so
fear,
crazy.
and responding is rooted in love. And the way that you respond and the way that it's rooted in love is by practicing compassion, both for yourself, the other person, and the world around you. And that is what's hard, because it takes unrelenting positive regard, which is also very hard to practice, because this world is scary. The things that we've been through are scary, and like the way that we've been raised, our parents were in survival mode, and so we took a lot of those survival traits that cause us to be in fear all the time. So I feel like that's why a lot of my life I've been reacting instead of responding. So
That's so interesting. Fear versus love. Oh my gosh. I really one day we'll unpack that because I want to know the differences in our childhoods.
Yeah.
because it's just all about our inner child. But
Tune in
let's
next
pause.
time. Yeah.
Let's pause. I want to hear what Jamie thinks reacting versus responding is. Like, what two emotions do you associate them with? Are they the same, or?
I feel like it's kind of I'm relating to like Shay. I feel like I either react because I'm defensive of what you're saying and I don't like what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think that's the only time I react. Sometimes I'll just be quiet. I'm reacting in my mind. I'm like, I'll save my response. But I think, it's definitely in the ego and the just being defensive and knowing that maybe that person's right or just wanting to prove that person wrong.
She's thinking of a specific instance right now.
As I'm responding in my head.
She's triggered.
She's gonna text someone after this.
So interesting. I mean,
But yeah.
now that makes me want to ask the audience, like, what emotions do you relate to responding or reacting? Like, we've had,
There's just
They're
so
just so
much.
different.
There's a lot.
they're so polarizing, which I find so interesting. But I love the fact that yours is fear versus love.
I know. I was like,
Yeah.
That's something that's sticking to
I need
me
to get
right
to
now.
that.
Yeah, because we react in fear that we're not good enough a lot of the time.
Make me cry.
Or like fear that we're losing control or we're gonna lose someone. So it's crazy how much everything relates back to those two things.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
That's another episode though.
It's
Fear
another
versus
episode,
love.
though.
So you have to tune in
Come
this season to
back.
see when that comes out.
Yes, but we're back.
Yes, we're back.
We will be better. This is me saying it so that it's out there already.
Yeah.
We will be better to our standards.
Oh yeah, to our standards.
It's for us.
Yeah, to our standards.
And this is how we
Yes.
challenge ourselves. So, from here, to wrap things up, we already spoke about our recap, challenges for ourselves. In what ways would we like to challenge our pod? I already mentioned accountability and us actually recording. That's the first step.
Well, I think relating to both of all of our goals for the year, we could challenge our pod to take accountability for the audience that we reach and the message that we put out.
That's true.
So true.
And posting within the same month.
Like, hopefully.
We'll make it happen.
Y'all aren't waiting too long.
We'll make it happen. Our audience, whoever is listening, internationally, we will help keep each other accountable and follow us on our socials. Leave us 5 stars. Like us, follow, subscribe, whatever. Let's keep each other accountable and continue this lovely journey.
I know.
Wow. All right. Till next time.
See ya.
Bye.